Why do some people have near-death experiences and others don't? Someone who has one, is it because that particular spirit needs to have the experience and it's used as some type of lesson for that spirit? Lots of people report a tunnel during a near-death experience with a light at the end. What is this tunnel? Is it some type of transitional thing between different vibrations and energies of Earth and Heaven? Some people on Earth believe the light is a trick, and we shouldn't go into that light when we pass. Is it a trick? Just checking again, I know I've asked this before, but are our deaths predetermined before we incarnate or reincarnate? Why do some people get a choice to stay or go back during a near-death experience if our deaths are already predetermined? Or is it because it wasn't their time yet, but could choose to stay at that point because they fulfilled their life's mission? Do the people who choose to go back get an additional mission to fulfill? Some people report floating around in the void or in complete darkness during a near-death experience, yet others are greeted and shown around. Why does this happen? Why have some people reported to have awful near-death experiences, such as seeing demons or some form of hell? Are they lying? Are they manifesting it themselves because of their beliefs, or something else? Why do some people remember their near-death experience? After all, most of us don't remember being in the spirit world before we were born. Is a near-death experience supposed to change someone's course in life when they come back? Were they not on the path they were supposed to be on, and a near-death experience was intended to set them back on the right path? Do people get greeted by anyone during a near-death experience? Some seem to, and others don't. Is there a reason for this? Some people have mentioned during a near-death experience of seeing sparkling pink and purple crystal cities. Do these crystal cities actually exist in the spirit world? What are your crystal cities for? Are they for schools and places of learning, or something else? Is it possible to visit these crystal cities during astral projection? I'd like to visit them sometime, now that I've astral projected a few times. Is a near-death experience similar to astral projection in any way? Are some parts of the astral planes off limits to those who have a near-death experience? If so, which ones? What else can you tell us about near-death experiences that I may have missed? This is David, on the right. He and most of the rest of my team managed to take a photo of themselves on my phone last Christmas morning. I then did a session asking them about the photo, and they confirmed that the alien type being on the right is David. Guardians are also known as technicians. They help with the communication, and yes, you probably have a guardian alien too. They have implied that all guardians are a new race of alien type beings. I started astral projecting a few months ago. My spirit team told me a couple of months ago that David would present to me past next week. After the third astral projection, I didn't have one again until a few nights ago, bearing in mind this video was made on the 6th of June. So in the video 2 weeks ago, I asked them why it hadn't happened again, and they told me to sleep more. I hadn't been sleeping well for several weeks. Now my sleep is better, and after 10 nights of decent sleep, I managed to astral project again. This time I was determined that I would meet David, but I found myself flying up in space, and then an unseen force gently pushed me off course, and I started going sideways, and then down, and then up, and then towards the other side. I had the feeling that my team were trying to stop me from meeting David for some reason. So being the determined, stubborn person I am, I strongly demanded, David, now. I shot upwards again, really fast, and suddenly I arrived in this meeting-type room. It had a large oval table. 5 of my team were sat with their backs to me, and 2 were on the right, on the curved part, so I stood in a small gap between them. And I turned to the woman on my right, and asked her if they were trying to block me from getting there, and she said they were. So then I asked her, so where's David? And a door then opened from behind this table, and in strides David. He's big, wide and stocky, kind of like a nightclub doorman. He's tall, around 6'5". His head is larger than average, but not massively so, and he's bold. His skin is extremely pale, white even. His eyes are wide set and a bit larger than usual, with a bit of a slant upwards at the edges, but that's all I could see, because he was wearing this white cloth mask with cutouts for eyes. So I couldn't see all of his eyes, the parts at the side that were starting to slant upwards. This mask also covered any nose or mouth that he had, so I couldn't see the lower part, and it was loosely tied to one side of his neck near his shoulder, with what looked like a silver metal ribbon. If he had an age, I would place him as, I don't know, in his 50s. So he strides over to me and shakes my hand and says telepathically, "Hello, I'm David." My vision then went black, and sometimes I can get it back by asking for clarity now, but this time it didn't work. So I told them my vision had gone, and I felt a gentle pull backwards, and I could then feel my real legs moving, and suddenly I was back in my body. So I wanted to ask them some questions about this experience and try and find out why he's not letting me see his face properly, because I'm not scared of him one bit. Were you trying to block me from getting to meet David when I was being pushed sideways, down, and sideways again, through space while travelling to him? Why were you trying to stop me from meeting him when you told me a few months back David would present me past next week? Why was David wearing a cloth mask with cutouts around his eyes when I met him? You know I'm not scared in the slightest of you, David. Will I be able to see you without the mask in future? You ran through quickly all the names of my spirit team that were sat around the table. The only one that stood out that I haven't heard before was Natalie. Is she a new team member? What was the room we met in? It looked like a meeting room. What else is it used for? Before meeting David, I went to see my dog Lily, who passed at the end of January. I saw another dog with her who looked just like my other dog, her sister Pixie. Was it her? Did she astral project as well and met her sister? Pixie was extremely happy and bouncy the next morning.